by Jessica Stalker. Let's see.
You want to know what will kill a relationship more than cheating on someone? Getting lazy in a relationship.
Absolutely true. What a lot of guys do, especially, right, is they get extremely lazy very quickly, get really comfortable. But this is also an issue for women too, because women, a lot of times, especially modern women, they get the guy that's okay, he's good enough, and they feel that they can just get lazy right away because that guy's never going to leave them, right? And this isn't really good for the guy, obviously. The guy feels that he's not really being taken care of. On the other hand, the girl also suffers because she cares about herself less and less because she has no pressure or incentive to do so. It's the same thing as having a brand new car. You're always going to take care of a brand new car way more than a used car. As soon as the car gets a couple scratches or dings or whatever, you start caring about it less and less and less, and it becomes a snowball effect. Once the attraction is gone, it's way more difficult to keep the relationship together because what's the glue? For some people, religion can be the glue that keeps them together. The only issue I have with that is it feels a little bit fake. Like, sure, you could base your relationship on religion, right? But if that attraction component doesn't exist anymore, you're essentially coping until you die. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but you could argue it's better than getting a divorce, I guess, in some situations. So fair enough. So maybe that's not even the worst outcome, but understand, right? There has to be some sort of glue, and the best glue is just being attracted to each other. That's the ultimate glue, right? And being attracted to someone obviously isn't just about how they look, right? Obviously, it's a component of it and a pretty significant component, but it also comes down to how you treat somebody and all these other things, right? Being genuinely attracted to somebody is the most important concept. And if you get lazy, all you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot. So 100% agree with her.
And I don't mean lazy in a way where you let yourself go or get fat or get unattractive. No, what I actually mean by lazy is you stop putting an effort into your relationship.
So yeah, I pretty much nailed it before she said it, but knowing how to treat somebody is also important because a lot of this is psychological, right? Obviously, the physical is a reflection of the psychological. You're not going to be good looking if you're not healthy mentally. It's very hard to do so. When I'm talking about the psychological component, what I'm referring to is treating her the way she needs to be treated, not always the way she wants to be treated. Now, she's probably not going to word it this way, but this is what I'm telling you guys, right? They will say they feel good in a relationship with you when you treat them the way they need to be treated. So an example of that would be to know where to draw boundaries, right? Girls need that. They need a guy that can draw boundaries. Knowing when to throw in some validation here and there, right? That's also important. Knowing how to listen, right? These are all little things that you need to learn how to do. And it's probably really tedious and annoying at times, but it's something that you need to do. This is the part where you need to put in effort as a guy to just deal with it, right? It is what it is. In my opinion, it's worth it if your girl's dying to get in bed with you every second, even after the honeymoon phase is over. So, sure, you may not like it at times, but it's probably worth it long term, right? My point here is your psychological state reflects every other aspect of your life. If you focus on yourself, she will perceive that as putting in effort because she benefits from you focusing on yourself as well, right? These are just some of the things you want to keep in mind.
Stop doing date nights. You stop complimenting each other. You stop maybe getting cute once in a while to go on a date. You stop asking how their day was. You stop randomly calling them. You stop sending them flirty texts. All of these things take effort, time, energy, intention. And if you stop doing them, I promise you, your relationship will not grow.
So when it comes to this, she's inadvertently talking about frame, right? And when we're talking about frame, what you do at the beginning is what you need to be willing to maintain later on. As you progress forward in your relationship with a woman, she's always going to want more, not less. Even just doing the same, unfortunately, won't cut it. This is especially true when now you start doing even less. They will always perceive this as a lack of effort. Obviously, at the beginning, you're going to do a bunch of things to try to get her, right? But after, are you going to want to do the same thing? Are you going to go on a date night once a week like you did in the early phases? Probably not. But a lot of girls expect this. So now it's up to you how much you want to maintain that standard. If you really want to keep her around long term, you probably should. The reality is, guys, girls are a cost. Okay, there's a cost that you have to be willing to pay. Obviously, the key question now is, does a modern woman provide something that you feel it's worth it for you to put your effort in? Now, of course, that's a whole other conversation. I'd argue most of the time, probably not. This is where a lot of girls are missing, of course, because they want all of the same things, but they themselves aren't really doing that much, where in the past, women were doing quite a bit. So yeah, I mean, understand getting into a relationship, it will be a cost of some sort. This is just the nature of life. I didn't write the rules, of course. When I say it like that, obviously it sounds unflattering, but it's the reality. So
And most of the time, I just see those relationships end really badly because you guys start looking at other things because you're not feeling seen and heard in your relationship.
So this is sort of the classic scenario, right? It's talking about you're manifesting your own demise in your relationship. I think there's probably more to the story. I think it's easy to say, oh, you stop putting effort in and then it ends. I mean, sure, but the problem is, right? Not everyone's meant to be with someone long term. I think there's this pervasive idea that people are supposed to be with each other forever, right? And this is definitely not how we're designed to be. So, of course, the more standard thing is that people just grow apart for a variety of reasons. It's not necessarily that complicated. It's just at some point, someone decides to not put in effort anymore. Okay? They've had their fill. They probably want something new. It is what it is. It happens. It's not great, but it's a reality of relationships, of course, where you live in a world where people want a bunch of things but don't want to give anything, right? This is just how it is. Obviously, now women are the ones that want to take everything and give very little, of course. Guy stops putting in effort. It's going to be his fault, of course, for stopping putting in effort when in reality on the backside, the girl has been probably lacking for months. This is the more typical situation, of course.
So, this is just a testament. If you're in a relationship, don't get lazy. Plan the date nights, do the damn thing.
Of course, it has to be worth it. You have to feel adequately compensated. And no, that doesn't mean financially, right? This means that you have to feel good about your choice. So when you walk out with this person, you got to feel pretty good about them when you're walking with them on the street, right? If you don't have that feeling, if you're not proud of who you have, it's not going to last. It's just the reality. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you want to see more of my private content, don't forget to check the link in the description below.